So I've done this to myself, and I'm going to need to slow down and take care of this before I can do any more work. Hey everyone, welcome to another car chat. I'm on my way to the flea market. I'm having problems with my eye. I don't know if you can see. I'm not wearing any makeup today for that reason. We're going to talk a little bit about it. So I hope that you're doing great. I'm going to go ahead and put my sunglasses on so you don't have to look at that. And yeah, on my way to the flea market. I still have appliances in my car from the last time I went to the flea market. I'm terrible about parting things out. I just don't have anything exciting to part out right now. Before I start talking today about things that are going on, I want to shout out a good friend of mine, Anissa. Today, I believe, is her birthday. Now, you won't be seeing this till later on in the week. Today is Sunday. I think it's April 27th. And I believe today is her birthday. If it's not today, it was yesterday. But happy belated birthday, Anissa. I sent you a direct message on Instagram. I didn't forget about you. I also want to bring up some concerns in the community. We need to send good thoughts and prayers to Pat Dees, Adam's Exploits, Rita Scully Star Fashions, and Mackie Doodle. And these are folks in our community, they're resellers who either are ill or someone in their family is ill. If you know of someone else I need to add to the list, please put it in the comments below. And know, guys, that we are wishing you all well and we love you. So that brings me to this next point. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Beth, and we have a rather small community of resellers here, but we have each other's backs. So welcome. I hope that you will subscribe and hit the like button and share this channel with others so you can get to know us. All right, I am doing another private working hangout this week, but I don't know which day yet. And we're going to talk about that. I'm having some vision issues. And all you have to do is direct message me on Instagram at Reseller Rowboat and tell me you want to be put on the list, and you will be added to the direct message on Instagram. And I send the link. It's the same link every time. It's to StreamYard. And you can just come in and out. You don't have to have your camera on, work, or just come by to say hi. And we had a good time last week. I don't get as much done on those days. That's why I don't want to do it every single day. But it really was a nice break for me to just talk to friends and, you know, catch up and throw some ideas around. There's no way I can do it every day or I would not get enough done. But, alright, so here's what's going on, guys, and I did this to myself, and now I've got to give myself time to heal. For the last, 5 weeks, I have been working on my computer, I would say no less than 16 to 18 hours a day, and on my phone, because I am opening my website, and I needed to migrate all my items over there, do a lot of research, watch a lot of videos. And I now have a sty on my left eye, which is not getting better. Actually, Janice says it looks better today, but it does not feel better today. It's itching like crazy. Yesterday, it was draining a lot. So I don't have a heating pack to put on it. So I think once I get one, I just ordered one from Amazon, a rice pack. It's for babies, so it'll be small. And I think once I get heat on it, maybe it'll be good. There's something that you guys don't know about me, and I don't think I've ever really talked about this. I haven't been to a doctor since before the pandemic, except for one time, and that was when I had an eye infection, and I believe I got the eye infection. It's pretty no doubt about it. I mean, it was an actual eye infection. It was not a sty. When I was thrifting and I had not sanitized my hands yet. I sanitize my hands when I get in the car, and I'm real bad about touching my face, and I think I must have touched my eye and got something in my eye, and I mean, it was like 2 days later, my eye was just completely infected, and so I did have to go to a doctor then. So I don't have a primary care doctor anymore, and I don't know what I'm going to do if this doesn't get better. I mean, I have an eye doctor, but I don't know that I could get in anytime soon. He's the one that took my cataract out. And I don't know where to go. I just don't know where to go. So, yeah, I did this to myself. So, yesterday, and this was a tough decision, guys. You know I work a lot. I decided yesterday that I was going to stay off the computer as much as possible. So I got up, I did my eBay maintenance routine, which takes about 10 minutes, where I reset my store, I let certain number of drafts go live a day, I put items on sale, I run my sales every 24 hours, I send out my buyer group coupons, and I send out my newsletters. It takes about 10 minutes of my time every morning. Once that was done, I got off the computer, and then I ended up sleeping yesterday for a while. I wasn't feeling well. I didn't get on the computer at all, really, much. I mean, just to check sales, take things off list perfectly when things sold. And then last night, I didn't do any work. I bought some Spanish books, so I did do some exercises in those, but nothing like I have been doing, okay? Then today I'll be at the flea market all day. I won't be at the flea market all day, but after the flea market, I'll go have lunch with my mom, maybe drive up to the house and see my dad. By the time I get home, it'll probably be 5 o'clock, and then I'll make dinner. And then I will need to use the computer to do my orders. I imagine I'll have about 20 orders. I shipped some of Saturdays already. So, the ones that came in Saturday morning, I shipped them yesterday on Saturday. So I think I'll have between 15 and 20 orders to ship out, which is not too bad. And then I'm done again. And then tomorrow, Monday, the 28th, I go to my thrift store, my honey hole, and I'll be gone with travel, maybe 3.5 hours, come home, and then just depending on how I'm feeling, I may work. I mean, I have hardly any drafts. I let 6 drafts go live today. That's all. I have 19 drafts that are ready to go. So I said, okay, I'm going to split it between 3 days. And so I let 6 go live today. And I haven't taken any inventory. I haven't taken any photos. I did take some measurements last night. But I've done this to myself, and it's amazing that I haven't gotten one before this. I mean, it's been going on 4 or 5 weeks that I've been doing this, and I could tell my eyes were bothering me. I mean, I just keep plugging along, and guys, your eyesight is so important. My grandma lost her eyesight in her later years, and it was just devastating. It was devastating to her, and I should be protecting myself. I'm going to have to come up with some kind of routine. Let me know in the comments below if you have any kind of routine for your eyes where I work an hour and then I rest an hour. Look at the screen for an hour and then look far away for 30 minutes or something. I know that's something that's better for you. And so, do computer work for an hour and then put inventory away, or do computer work for an hour and then take photos, or that's hard for me. with this website. So now I want to talk a little bit about my website, because I can't tell you how many people have asked me this. I think the site went live Tuesday or Wednesday night. And, of course, I was excited. So I was telling people, hey, I launched my website, finally got it, launched. Well, now I'm starting to get people asking me, how's your website doing? How's your website doing? And guys, it's up. That's it. It's up. It's working properly. No sales. And I appreciate the, question, but I have a feeling you guys are asking me, have I made any sales yet? And no. And I don't expect to make any sales for a long time. And here's why. Number one, I'm not advertising that much. I'm trying to get Google to connect to the store, and I'm having some issues with it connecting. It won't accept my privacy terms and my contact information sheet. And in order to fix that, I've got to do some research, and that involves computer work, and I'm not trying to stay off the computer. Number two, Friday, my business cards and hang tags came in that I'm putting in my packages. So I've put in about 8 business cards. I sent out about 8 items Saturday morning, maybe more than that. They've each got a business card, and I had 3 pieces of clothing that had photos taken, and I put the hang tags on them, and that's it. And then I've been sharing my items on Pinterest, and I don't know if you get any sales from Pinterest. I just know a friend who says she does that on her Shopify store, so I'm like, hey, maybe I should share these things on Pinterest. I don't know. So it's going to take some time, and so if I send out, I think if I send out 100 business cards, maybe one person will go to my website. Like, that's just how I feel. I think it's going to be more than that, though, because I do have a lot of repeat buyers. But I don't know. It's going to take a while. And that's why I'm giving myself 2 years. Boy, all of a sudden everything is blurry. And I don't know if that's my eye or what. Gosh. Alright, now I want to talk about Poshmark. The Poshmark issue. If you don't know about it, where have you been? I'm going to have to open a Diet Coke for this. I brought me 2 little mini Diet Cokes to sip on. I don't like to drink a lot before I go, because I don't like to go to the restroom there, because it's super teeny tiny and I have to take my big card in there, and it's a problem. Poshmark, what the heck are you doing? If you've been under a rock, Poshmark is now saying they don't want you to delist and relist constantly. If you do, you will get a warning. Continue doing it, you could lose your selling privileges over there. Well, this creates a problem for me, because I was taking 50 to 60 items off of Poshmark a day and relisting them so that I could connect them to list perfectly. And I know I told you guys that there's a way to take the number at the top of the item on Poshmark and put it into list perfectly, and it will link. And that was not working for me. And here's why having friends in the business is so amazing. A friend of mine actually videotaped herself doing this. I was skipping a step, and I didn't know that. So if you have list perfectly, when you go into inventory and sales, you take that long Poshmark number. It used to be a smaller number, now it's a long number. You put it in the Poshmark number box, and don't hit save yet. See, I was hitting save. You have to click the Poshmark icon and then hit save. And then it links. And then I hit update, and it updates the price. So that's going to keep me from delisting constantly, 50 or 60 a day, and relisting them. Thank you. I love her. She knows who I am, who she is. And then the only thing that I have to do, and I don't think that Poshmark is going to catch this, because these are not real people doing this, right? These are bots that are doing this, taking people off the platform. Is whenever I take inventory, I take an entire section of my eBay down off of eBay, and I take them off of Poshmark, and I redo the listing, and I make sure it looks the way I want it to look, and I switch a photo, I switch something in the title, and I just spruce the listing up, right? And sometimes I change the price. If it's been sitting around a long time, I change the price. I put it in my drafts, and then a few days later, it gets put on the Poshmark. So because there's going to be several days since I took it down, and also things are going to be changed in the listing, I don't think I'm going to be caught up in that. Thank goodness. I feel bad for the people who are doing this, because they're doing this for a reason. It works. It's a proven fact that your items get stale on Poshmark as well on other platforms. And these cross-listing programs would not have to invent a way to delist and relist if there wasn't a reason to do it. You know what I'm saying? I wish Poshmark would spend more time worrying about taking scammers off of their website when there's proof that they're scammers, than worrying about whether we delist and relist constantly. I mean, really? I feel like this scammer that we're all talking about right now will eventually be taken down. But you have to kind of look at it as a company. Like, I was a business owner. I had a bookstore, right? I had employees. I had to be extremely careful if I wanted to let somebody go, because I could be sued, right? For any reason if I let somebody go. And I'm sure that Poshmark would be thinking, Whatnot probably did the same thing. Poshmark, they're getting thousands and thousands, I'm sure, messages saying, please take this seller down now. She's a scammer. But they're gotta have to gather some information first. So we have to be patient, unfortunately. Instead of, so I guess I shouldn't have said that whole thing about, well, you'd rather concentrate on delisting than taking this person down. I don't know. As a business owner, and this is what my boss does too, he doesn't fire anyone. He makes it so uncomfortable for the person, and not in a mean way, but for them to realize that this job is not for them, and they eventually quit, because they realize that they can't do the job. And I had that happen in my bookstore twice, I think. Now, you have to understand, some of my employees in my bookstore were teenagers. Not all of them, but a few of them were. And, I had to make the conversation very uncomfortable and say, hey, you're not doing your job, And the one girl, she ended up quitting shortly after. She realized this was not the job for her, The other one, I think, eventually quit too, but she stayed longer afterwards. She really, really wanted to do a good job, but... So yeah, I don't fire people. I don't think I've ever fired anyone. Anyway, that went on a funny trail. Jeez. All right, so getting on the freeway again, another freeway. So I'm not going to talk much longer because I'm going to the flea market specifically looking for higher end coffee makers, vintage appliances, and Japanese manufactured vacuum cleaners. So what I'm going to do is, if I find anything, I will take pictures of them, and then I will come back and I'll tell you a little bit about the items. And if I don't come back, that means I didn't do very well. So I've lost 4 pounds today's the 27th. I've lost 4 pounds since April 6th. But that's because I wasn't counting calories for a couple of weeks. And Easter, I had a lot of wine. So now that I'm counting calories, I'm starting to lose some weight, right? Well, my mom wants to go out to lunch today. And where did she pick to go? Chinese food. Yeah. So, I had 2 boiled eggs for breakfast. That's about 143 calories right there. And then for dinner, I'm making a ham steak with red potatoes. And I probably need to put that in my Fitness Pal. And then according to I'll just have to decide what to order. I think what I'm going to do is do hot and sour soup because it's made of tofu. And then maybe 2 egg rolls. And I think if I do that, that'll be I'm going to count that as about 400 points. And then maybe I'll have a scoop of my mom's rice. It's very difficult because this is a small Chinese restaurant. They don't have the calories written on their menu like Chili's does or places like that. So you have to really guess, what a bummer. But if my mom wants to go there, my mom wants to go there. So that's how it goes. Then I'll try to go to a Goodwill to look for some home decor, and I'll sneak off to the appliance section, but typically there's nothing there. It's Sunday, so the Christian thrift store is closed, and if I go to my dad's house, my mom and dad's house, there's another Goodwill in their town, so we'll have to kind of see. But it's 80 degrees right now. I brought my neck fan. Brought my headphones so I can listen to disco. And I don't know what else to talk about. I think that's all I wanted to say. So catch up with you after the flea market. All right, I'm back. Exactly 1 hour from 10:15 to 11:13 a.m. to get through the flea market. Probably could have seen a couple other booths, but I spent $135, got 5 machines. I'm going to talk about them. What was I thinking? I did not take my neck fan. When I got here, it was 80 degrees, but it looked like it was going to rain. It was getting very, very cloudy. So I thought, I don't need my neck fan. I'm going to be under pavilions. Wrong, because I had to park my car so far away that I had to get in the direct sunlight to walk, and that was a mistake on my part. This guy is parked behind me, and he doesn't want to move, and I'm trying to get out. So let's talk about, as best as I can, because I don't have the machines in front of me, I'm going to take a picture of each one, put it on the screen, and tell you why I bought it. I did see a really cool Japanese manufactured vacuum cleaner for $40 used, but the guy said it didn't have a battery. And he's like, I said, well, I don't want to pay that doesn't have a battery. And he goes, well, you can take my phone number down and you can call me if it doesn't work. And I said, you don't understand. I don't want to have to buy a battery, and I don't want to pay $40 if it doesn't have a battery. But it was a really cool machine. So let's talk about the first 2 I bought. I found this lady right away. I've bought vacuum cleaners from her before. She seems very honest. Everything I've bought from her has worked, and she always is willing to take the pieces out of the box and show me that the battery is charged or the machine is working if it doesn't have a battery. And then she tapes up the boxes, which is so nice because those 2 and the other 3 that I bought all are in boxes, so they're not going to like fall around in my trunk in an IKEA bag. So that was great. 2 trips to the car though. So the first one, I have no idea what the brand is. I think it's BNAU, but I'm not for certain, but I will put it up on the screen right now. I got it for $30. It's used, and it's just your typical Japanese manufactured vacuum cleaner. The only thing I didn't like about it is it had a cord. It didn't have a battery. So I'm not going to make as much money probably on it because I can't sell a battery. However, it did have a cord, and so I can sell the cord. But I won't get as much for the cord as I would a battery. But that's okay. And then the other one she showed me was new in the box. It's by Seyola, Seyola. I'm showing you on the screen right now. It's a steamer. Never had a steamer before, but it works about the same way. And actually, I'm taking that back. I think maybe the steamer is the one that has a cord. Yeah, it is, now that I'm thinking about it. Because I did a false conversation on the phone. Have you ever done that? I pretended I was talking to someone and asking them if they wanted to buy it, and describing the item and saying, well, do you want to buy it? Because I really need to go look at clothes. Just make a decision, that kind of thing. I always do these false conversations. So anyway, that was $75 total at that booth. And she's really nice. Like, I need to go to the restroom, and so she let me leave my cart there. The only problem was with my directional inability, I went to the wrong pavilion. I couldn't remember what pavilion she was in, so that's another reason I got hot. All right, the last 3 items. The guy had tons of appliances. He says he's there every week, but there's no way because, I don't see him as much. I've seen him before, but he didn't have as much of a selection. Now he has like 4 tables of those Keurig 2.0s, they're all different colors. I would never pick one of those. Guys, don't pick up a 2.0. They're saturated. You can't get much money for them. He's like, do you want one of those for $10? I'm like, no. Surprised myself that I did buy a Keurig though, and I'll show it on the screen. It was unusual. It was $25 in the box, and he had a lot of those. I think those are going to sell. If he's got more next time, I'll buy another one. Then I got a Chef Man, which is what I was looking for, an espresso maker in the box for $20. That's a great price, but I couldn't see on the box like what was in it. Like it didn't show a portafilter, and I kept saying, I don't want to buy this because I don't know what's in there. It's got to have portafilters. And he's like, well, I'll just take everything out of the box for you, no problem. And he did. Everything was all wrapped in the plastic, and there's portafilters, and with the handles and all the little scoopy, all the things you need to make an espresso. So that was great for $20. I wish he would have had a second one, and he may have, and I just missed it. I mean, by then I was just dripping sweat, and my eye is really bothering me, guys. And then the last one I bought from him, which again, why would I buy this? I say I'm not going to buy this, but it was new in the box. Cuisinart, a coffee maker, showing right now on the screen. And the reason I paid $15 for it is, number one, it's new, and number two, it has 2 filters, the black plastic brew basket and also the mesh filter. I don't buy coffee makers like that anymore if they are missing the mesh filter, or some of the coffee makers don't even come with a mesh filter, because I can only get 3 or 4 pieces out of this machine, and for $15 I have to get at least 3 or 4 pieces out of a machine to even make my money back. So I think I did really, really well. I was actually going to stop after I got the vacuum cleaners. My eye was hurting so bad. I was so hot. And I thought, no, I have to get back to my car anyway. I might as well just keep going in that direction. And I am so glad I did. So I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Remember, if you want to work in my private working hangout this week, direct message me on Instagram. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Also hit the thumbs up. Please comment below. I love reading your comments. Don't forget that we're all in this business boat together. So paddle on, and may God keep you in his pocket. Goodbye.